It was 2008 and I was preparing to be examined on my master thesis at the Silesian University of Technology. I was in close relationship with my girl. My parents and grandparents were ready to take money from their saving to help me with my plans. The story seems rather unoriginal. Everyone knew how it's going to end. Only I was more convinced each day that it will end differently. My name is Father Archangel. I'm 37 years old and I've been in the Franciscan Order for 12 years. I grew up near the Franciscan monastery in Chorzów-Klimzowiec. For me, a priest was a friar. The friars that minister in our parish were the first priests I have met in my life. For many people, meeting a friar or a monk is something unusual. For me, it was unusual to meet a diocesan priest. I grew up in a very traditional family where faith was an essential element of our life. When I entered my rebellious phase and I started to search for my identity, to order my world and hierarchy of value, I rebelled against my parents. I also strongly rebelled against God. While I was shaping my identity, rejecting all I had been taught, God got hit as well. I started to search for a way to order the world without him. I used to relish all kinds of information about scandals in church. It was a confirmation for me that I was right, that it is possible to order the world without God, and of course, without the church. This was challenged when my first close relationship with my first girlfriend began. It was a serious relationship. She cooled my philosophical aspiration. She also helped me to improve my relation with my parents. She deserves credit for that. And I think it is thanks to her that I am where I am today. Thanks to her, I met many great priests. And suddenly, it turned out that although there are all kinds of priests in the church, the majority of them were quite okay. These were people who have started their work and who have discerned their vocation for the noble reason, not the reason I used to suspect. It made a great impression on me. They were the people that wanted to serve others and were not self-serving. And I started to experience that. I began to listen to the other side and to observe them. And in particular, I started to notice the ministry of the friar in my parish. I hadn't found God in philosophical disputes or metaphysical arguments. No, I met him in another man, in kindness, openness, in this man and their full commandment to their calling. And that was what I started to experience from the friars. I think this awareness has always been there, but I had to choke it, suppress it. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't open. But when I made a space for an encounter, for the dialogue, it made a great impression on me. And the thought appeared in my head. Oh, so maybe you do exist, God. Later, when I received the answer to this question, the first question was followed by another thought. And what do you want from me? In 2008, I already had another girlfriend. However, as I mentioned, I started to experience that God has another plan for me, that He has some other way. I started the postulate at the Franciscans, with the friars whose testimony I found so compelling. They fascinated me with the way they lived. After years of formation, the postulate and novitiate, and years of philosophical and theological studies, I was ordained and sending to the parish in Katowice Panewniki as a curate. I was a priest who had pastoral responsibility for the youngest children in the parish. So I was responsible for the altar service, for the preparing of children for the first communion, for all that is usually entrusted to young new ordained priest. After my ministry in Katowice Panewniki, my superiors decided to send me for PhD studies in the scope of natural philosophy, cosmology, methodology of science, and logic. Presently, I'm finishing my doctorate. And here I am.